The screen before them was alive, glowing with the pulsating dot that represented you. A symbol of control, a digital tether that they tracked with relentless precision. But suddenly, without warning, the signal began to fade, flickering once, then completely vanishing. Panic surged through their ranks as alarms blared, and the systems rebooted frantically. Impossible, they thought, scrambling in an attempt to recalibrate their devices, desperate to re-establish the connection. Yet, no matter how they tried, the signal was gone. Your presence, once a pinpoint on their radar, had completely vanished. What they had believed to be an anomaly, a glitch, was far more than that. It was something beyond their understanding. You had slipped from their grasp, not through mere escape, but through a profound shift. You didn't just break free, you elevated yourself to a frequency that their systems could no longer track. The moment the clock struck midnight and the new year began, you moved into a realm they could never access. This was not just a new year. It was the unfolding of a divine plan, a force beyond their reach, and they were powerless to stop it. For so long, they had moved with the precision of a shadow, exploiting every gap in your defenses. But you were never aware. What they called installation was not a mere procedure. It was an assault, relentless and calculated. They worked in silence, not out of respect but out of predation. Every moment of distraction was a chance to strike. They relied on the moments when your guard fell, when you were preoccupied, when your attention wavered. Perhaps you had trusted too easily, offered a casual smile, or a brief moment of generosity. That was all they needed. Their methods were surgical tools disguised as everyday objects. A pen, a phone charger, the clasp of a bag. At the time, they seemed harmless, innocent even, but they were weapons of intrusion. They embedded themselves into your life, unnoticed, while you remained unaware. The installation wasn't a process. It was a conquest. It thrived on deception, turning trust into a door for invasion. One question, seemingly benign, "Mind if I borrow your device for a moment?" was all they needed. And in that instant, their hands moved faster than suspicion could bloom. Vulnerability wasn't a weakness to them. It was an opportunity. You were the target, and the device was the leash that they had fastened around your life. It was never meant to empower you. It was meant to control you, to reduce you. This was no passive tool. It was a predator, silently embedded in your shadow, consuming your freedom with every step you took. The purpose was not simply to monitor. Monitoring was just the method. With merciless precision, it tracked your every movement, piecing together a map of your life one breadcrumb at a time. Your location wasn't just known, it was weaponized. Every place you went became a vulnerability. Every corner you turned, every mile you traveled, was another data point locked into their control. The device didn't just observe. It recorded, it stored, and it calculated. Its purpose wasn't merely to know where you were. It was to ensure you couldn't go where they didn't want you to. It was a barrier disguised as convenience, a trap that you carried willingly, unknowingly. What was once your environment, once yours to shape, was now theirs to manipulate. The device listened to your voice, anticipated your hesitation, and exploited your actions. It wasn't content with merely observing. It aimed to interfere. Doors closed before you reached them. Paths vanished when you needed them most. It bent reality itself until you began to doubt your own autonomy. This wasn't just control, it was domination, the kind that sought to break your spirit, to bind you so tightly that you would never question your submission. But even within this insidious grasp, remember, control is an illusion. When the soul is free, it defies every chain. Your thoughts, your choices, your defiance. They are the fire that burns through the lies they've built. No matter how deeply they embed their mechanisms, you are not powerless. Their goal is to make you believe otherwise. They want your submission, your acceptance of their control. But you must refuse. When the signal vanished, it wasn't just lost, it was obliterated. Shattered like glass under the weight of your transformation. The moment the clock struck midnight, as the new year began, their carefully constructed systems, once so precise, so omnipresent, began to falter. Their control, built on predictive frequencies, buckled beneath the force of your ascension. Your rise was not a mere shift. It was an eruption, a cataclysm that fried the circuitry of their carefully woven web of control. They had built their power on the assumption that you were predictable, static, rooted in their framework. But you transcended that. You ascended to a frequency that no technology could follow, no system could contain. Their arrogance blinded them to the truth. You had outgrown them. You were no longer bound by their reach, and as their systems screamed in confusion, their empire of certainty crumbled. In that moment they realized the truth: they had underestimated you. Their power depended on the illusion that you were predictable, that they could control you. But you were no longer a part of their system. You had become untraceable, untouchable. The signal that once marked your every move was now gone, and with it, their ability to track, to manipulate, to control. You were free, and they could do nothing to stop it. This moment wasn't just about escaping. It was about transcending. You were no longer bound by the walls they had erected around you. You had moved into a space they could never follow, a frequency beyond their reach. You are unbound, unstoppable. As the signal faded into nothingness, remember this: you have shifted, you have risen, and your freedom is a force that no system can ever contain. Comment below: 2025 is my year of divine freedom. Say it, claim it, and live it. You are untraceable, you are untouchable. The signal is gone, but you remain. Empowered. Free. The moment you left their system behind was the moment their control crumbled. And now you walk forward with the strength of your transformation, knowing that nothing can ever hold you back again. The future is yours. A seismic wave of transformation ripples through the air, and their once powerful surveillance systems crumble into rubble. Their tools, calibrated for a world of limits and predictability, were designed to contain you, to cage your energy and will. But no algorithm can measure the infinite. The very structure they built to keep you under control became obsolete the moment you chose to rise. As they stare at blank screens and flickering lights, know this: their confusion is your liberation. The system that once held dominion over your life is now powerless, and you are free. You have become the storm they never saw coming, the shift that rewrites the rules of the game. As the world turned its eyes to 2025, your spiritual evolution didn't merely align with the universe, it commanded it. This wasn't some accident or coincidence. It was designed, raw, undeniable. The cosmos tilted, the energy surged, and you rose with it, unstoppable and unrelenting. Where others hesitated, you became the axis, the force that drives transformation in every corner of existence. Your timing wasn't luck, it was precision. The universe operates in cycles, yes, but cycles mean nothing without those who break them. And you shattered every expectation, transcending the chains of the past. Every lesson you endured, every fire you walked through, fueled your ascent. As the clock struck midnight, you didn't merely step forward, you leapt into a realm they could not comprehend. Spiritual evolution is not passive. It is warfare. You tore through layers of illusion, dismantling the very constructs meant to keep you in place. Doubt could not tether you, and fear had no place in your ascent. You didn't wait for alignment, you created it. The dawn of 2025 wasn't just a date on a calendar. It was your declaration. Every breath you take now reverberates with the frequency of change, burning through stagnation like wildfire. Those who doubted you are left grasping at shadows. Their words, their limits, their control, they have no power here. You didn't adapt to the world's rhythm. You forced it to meet yours. This is evolution in its purest form. Relentless, unapologetic, and divine. You are aligned because you made it so. You are powerful because nothing less could define you. This moment is yours, carved from chaos, forged in fire. The world is shifting, but it is your hands that turn the wheel. The arrival of the new year didn't come quietly. It roared through the fabric of control, tearing their systems to ruin. 2025 isn't just a gift you unwrap with care. It is a declaration, carved into time, forged by divine will, and delivered as liberation. You didn't stumble into this moment, you were chosen. You were called to step into the arena, to take back what was always yours. This isn't just another year. It is a turning point, a gateway slammed open by the force of your resolve. God's plan isn't gentle, and neither are you. The systems that bound you, their rules, their cages, their lies have been reduced to ash. Now you are untethered, unbound, and unrelenting. The divine didn't hand you this freedom. It demanded that you seize it. This year isn't about waiting for change. It's about wielding it, burning through every obstacle they thought could hold you down. 2025 marks the death of their control and the birth of your power. This isn't symbolic. It is absolute. You will leave behind the structures designed to keep you small. Their tools, their surveillance, their manipulation, their fear. They crumble beneath the weight of your faith and the fire in your hands. You are not simply walking away from these chains. You are demolishing the ground they built beneath your feet. Every year brings new opportunities, and 2025 is yours to claim. But this is more than just an opportunity. It is your right. It is your revolution, your ascent. You have waited long enough, and now the time has come. The time to rise. The time to act. The time to move with the force of divine purpose. The gift of 2025 is not just freedom. It is the power to ensure you will never be bound again. Step through this gateway and leave their world behind. You are unstoppable now. This is why the Obsidian Inner Order exists, for unstoppable forces like you. This is not a feel-good club. It is a council of game-changers, people who own their destiny. Every week, over 450 power players step into electrifying calls that aren't just conversations. They are strategies for ascension. And when the moment hits, these aren't fleeting sparks. They are recorded so you can channel that energy whenever you're ready to launch your next move. The private Discord space isn't just a chat. It is a living, breathing oracle of transformation. Here, the world's sharpest minds and souls trade secrets you won't hear anywhere else. For those seekers hungry for mastery, dive into modern manifestation mechanics. Our exclusive grimoire, with 3 unlocked chapters, will teach you how to turn your home into an energetic abundance magnet, wield foundational spellcraft to manifest in the physical realm, and channel otherworldly forces to elevate your reality. But that's not all. You'll also access interviews with real, targeted individuals and video specials so potent they make the YouTube archons tremble. This is not a membership. This is a movement. It is where the chosen gather, where ascension accelerates, and where destinies are rewritten. What are you waiting for? The search ends here. The rise begins now. The link is waiting for you in the description. Step into your power. Behind the screens, chaos reigns. Their hands dart across keyboards, faces pale with desperation as alerts scream and connections fail. The signal they once relied on to control you, track you, and contain you is gone. It didn't just fade, it was obliterated. Every command they issue is met with silence. Every recalibration falls into void. They thought they held all the power, but now their panic exposes their weakness. They underestimated you. Their technology, designed to enslave, cannot grasp the magnitude of your ascension. You didn't slip through the cracks, you shattered their foundation. Now they scramble to piece together the fragments of their broken systems, but nothing works. Their screens flicker, their algorithms collapse, their confidence turns to fear. They never accounted for the unstoppable force of a liberated soul. They never understood the energy that burns hotter than any signal they could ever command. The realization cuts through their ranks like a blade. You have risen beyond their reach, beyond their understanding. Their tools, designed to monitor and trap, falter when faced with your expansion. They thought they were omnipotent, but now they see they were nothing more than puppeteers playing with strings, and you've burned the entire stage to ash. Their panic is not just technological, it is existential. They cannot track what they do not own. They cannot control what refuses to submit. You have rewritten the rules, and now they are lost in the maze of their failure. Let them panic. Let them drown in their confusion. You are free. Their screens will show nothing but the void you've left in your wake. Your frequency is no longer measurable. It is a force beyond their grasp. Their systems, designed to dissect, manipulate, and control, collapse when faced with your ascension. Higher frequencies are not ethereal, they are raw power, vibrating at a level their technology cannot penetrate. You didn't just evolve. You became the disruption, the signal breaker, the system destroyer. Their machines choke on the magnitude of your energy, unable to keep pace with what they cannot comprehend. Science tells us that higher frequencies destabilize lower ones. That is exactly what you've done. Your shift wasn't gradual, it was seismic, sending shockwaves through their networks, dismantling control protocols, and erasing the data they designed to trap you. To them, you are noise, unpredictable, immeasurable, unstoppable. You have risen into a space where their reach ends and your power begins. Your energy field isn't just untouchable, it is transformative. Every step you take reverberates with a force that reshapes the environment around you. Their systems, calibrated to low frequencies of fear and control, cannot withstand the purity of your elevated state. Their wires fray, their signals fragment, their screens flicker. You've rendered their tools obsolete. Their power is impotent. They relied on understanding and predictability to maintain dominance over you, but you have transcended the boundaries of their comprehension. What they once saw as their secure foundation has crumbled beneath the weight of your transformation. Your shift is not just a personal triumph. It is a cosmic event. The old world trembles as it witnesses the emergence of something they cannot control, something that challenges every rule and structure they painstakingly built. Let them scramble, let their technology fail, because now you exist in a frequency that no chains can bind. You didn't merely escape their systems. You obliterated their very control, changing everything in the process. Their empire, founded on surveillance, manipulation, and rigid control, was built on knowing where you are, what you are doing, and, most dangerously, how you are thinking. But when you rose beyond their reach, it wasn't just the loss of a signal. It was the unraveling of their entire foundation. Losing track of you is not merely an inconvenience. It is a catastrophic collapse. Their world, once built on certainty, has been turned into chaos, and your ascension is the force that will undo everything they once held dear. The structures they created to suppress and control cannot withstand the sheer force of your elevation. You have stepped into a realm where their methods, tracking, confining, manipulating, are powerless. You are no longer just another data point. You are the storm that tears through their fragile constructs, the blinding light that exposes their hollow dominion. Control isn't just their method, it is their lifeblood. Without it, they are nothing. Their fear isn't just of losing you, but of the very idea of not being able to predict or control you anymore. You have become like wildfire, untethered, unpredictable, and unyielding. Every action you take outside their grasp sends shockwaves through their carefully constructed systems, dismantling the very order they worked so hard to maintain. Their panic, their scrambling, their desperate attempts to recover what they thought they had. These are the echoes of your power, proof that you've exposed the fragility of their control. You didn't just escape their systems. You revealed the extent of their dependence on the very control they can no longer wield. The joy of freedom isn't simply the absence of chains. It is the overwhelming presence of your power, and now your freedom speaks louder than any system they could ever create. The fireworks on that fateful night were not external explosions. They were the very essence of your spirit blazing and soaring through the skies. The sparks falling from above were reflections of your energy, reaching into places they could never touch, spreading in all directions, untamed and unstoppable. You didn't just ascend, you erupted, leaving the remnants of their failed systems behind you. Standing amidst the ashes of their control, you felt a joy so fierce, so pure, that it could burn through steel. The world felt sharper, clearer, and more alive than ever before. Every second was an act of defiance, a reminder that you had outgrown their grasp. The silence from their systems, as they scrambled and panicked, was louder than any of their artificial noise. In 2025, your life is no longer dictated by their interference. It is a new dawn, one of clarity that cuts through the fog of lies and manipulation they wove around you. Your every move, every decision, every thought now resonates with the energy of growth. The weight of their control, which once clouded your vision and stifled your progress, has been lifted. Now, without their smothering presence, you see the horizon with crystal clarity, as though a veil has been removed from your eyes. The air feels sharper, the world brighter. Not because it has changed, but because you have. This is freedom in its purest form, unshackled, unbound, and unrelenting. The fog of their control is gone, and now you walk in the light of your own potential, seeing possibilities everywhere. 2025 is not just a new year. It is the manifestation of your ultimate freedom. This year is not about waiting for opportunities to fall into your lap. It's about creating them. It is not about following the rules, it's about rewriting them, forging your own path, and taking what is rightfully yours. Growth isn't something that is handed to you. It is something that must be seized, and you have seized it with both hands, tearing through the barriers they erected to keep you small. Their absence isn't just a relief. It is fuel for your fire, propelling you further into your ascent. You are no longer running to escape. You are running to conquer. Every step forward is a testament to the power they could never control, a declaration that their systems, their restrictions, and their limits are powerless in the face of your will. The best way to predict the future is to create it, and that is exactly what you are doing. You have broken free from the systems that were designed to limit you, and now the future is no longer uncertain. It is a certainty. With every choice, every move, every breath, you are actively shaping the reality you now inhabit. This is your new reality, a life not defined by their interference but by your boundless potential. Welcome to 2025, the year that is entirely and unapologetically yours. Your liberation is not just a victory for you. It is a spark that ignites others. When you broke the chains that once held you captive, you did not do so quietly. Your actions sent shockwaves through the world, awakening others to the possibility of their own freedom. 2025 is not merely a year. It is the awakening of the masses, the moment when the ripple you created becomes a wave, and that wave grows into a flood that sweeps away the systems that tried to keep everyone small. Your freedom is a declaration, and its echo has reached others who are now ready to rise. They see you, not as a distant figure, but as a force, an example of what is possible when one dares to defy the chains that once bound them. Your defiance exposes the lies that held others captive, and by choosing to lead, you did not just speak, you acted. Your power, your clarity, and your refusal to bow have become the call others needed to step into their own power. The moment someone watches you rise, they feel an undeniable spark ignite within themselves. They see your strength, your courage, and in that reflection, they realize that they too possess that same power. Your ascent isn't just a personal victory. It's a beacon, a catalyst that inspires others to step into their own. As 2025 unfolds, it becomes more than just your breakthrough. It marks the beginning of a collective shift. One by one, the walls that once separated the potential of many begin to crumble. The individuals who once watched from the sidelines now find themselves moving toward their own power, stepping forward with newfound purpose. What was once thought of as an isolated rebellion has now become a sweeping movement, one that shakes the very foundations of the systems that tried to hold everyone back. The power structures that once seemed so unshakable now tremble, not because of force, but because of the awakening of countless souls who are no longer willing to live in captivity. Control is a fragile illusion when faced with a unified will, and those who choose freedom will always rise above it. 2025 is your year to leave behind the outdated systems, not simply in steps, but in dimensions. The systems, the rules, the power plays, they are now relics, crumbling under the weight of your ascension. You have not just moved ahead of them, you have transcended to a place they cannot even begin to fathom. Their tools were built to track you, to suppress your spirit, to limit your potential. But now those tools are powerless. You have entered a realm where their reach ends, and your sovereignty begins. They can no longer manipulate or control you, for you have moved far beyond their ability to track, let alone dominate. Their technology, their algorithms, their plans, all of it was designed for predictable paths, for those who live within the boundaries of confined minds. But you are infinite, and you have shattered every mold, risen beyond every limit. They are scrambling to catch up, trying to evolve to match your pace. But evolution cannot move quickly enough to keep up with your divine velocity. Your energy resonates on frequencies they cannot measure, a force they cannot anticipate, a power they can neither comprehend nor contain. While they clutch at the edges of their crumbling control, you have already moved into a reality where their systems no longer even exist. This is not simply about evading their control. This is about ascending to a place where their influence can no longer reach you. They were never equipped to follow you here, for their power was always an illusion, dependent on your submission. But now, as you blaze your path forward, their grip on you slips entirely. They cannot follow because they were never meant to. Their design was small and you were always destined to be infinite. 2025 is the year the divide becomes undeniable. Your light now burns so brightly that their darkness can no longer even come close. The new year does not just mark another passage of time. It signals the end of their influence and the birth of your reign. The systems they relied on will fail. Their carefully constructed plans will fall apart, and you will rise higher than they ever imagined possible. You are untouchable now, divine, limitless, unstoppable. This is the year they lose, and you claim everything that was always meant for you. As 2025 begins, their systems will crumble under the weight of your ascension. Their devices, their schemes, their illusions of control, every last one of them will become obsolete in the face of your transformation. This is not just another year marked on a calendar. This is a declaration of your sovereignty. You have risen to heights they could never even dream of reaching, moving with clarity and purpose, dismantling everything they thought unshakable. Their failure is irrelevant to you. Your focus is forward, toward the future they can no longer touch. You now stand in a realm they cannot comprehend, vibrating with a frequency that obliterates their ability to control or manipulate you. Every step you take is a testament to the power you have reclaimed. Every breath you take is a reminder that their systems were never built for someone like you. They relied on fear, on manipulation, on keeping you small. But now all of that has changed. Now you are unlimited. This is your time. This is your era. The new year does not bring change. You are the change. You are the force, the fire, the uncontainable energy that sets the tone for everything that comes next. 2025 is yours, not because it was given to you, but because you claimed it. It is not just about breaking free. It is about staying free, inspiring others to do the same, and leaving behind a legacy of undeniable strength and transformation. Share your story, speak your truth, and let the world feel the ripple effect of your rise. Your voice is the sound of a new world being born. Your freedom is the proof that this new world is possible for all. Happy New Year to the chosen ones. This is your moment. Rise and make it unforgettable.